go to?
Starting from page 38.
Oh, Tzadi Hey is the beginning. So you said, so you want to read Tzadi Hey here, and then you want to go to the Gon after this and read also the beginning. Is that right?
Well, the whole parak, and then the whole parak.
Okay.
One parak, and then the back goes Yura on the parak.
Okay, so we're going to learn this. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to go through the Pirkei Kadmon. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Then we're going to go to the Gon, and we're going to learn the Pirkei Kadmon.
Right.
And then we're going to go to the things that you marked off, Baruch Hashem, and we'll go from there.
No, I mean the footnotes as we're reading the Arizal.
Yeah, okay, the footnotes as we're reading the Arizal. Okay.
And the same thing later I was ago, which I didn't do yet. I really just started in the Arizal.
Okay.
The footnotes be done at the same time as the text.
Okay, so
and
what?
At the end, what's the Urim is probably the whole thing.
Okay.
What's Urim in the back.
Okay, you're talking about the footnotes, which is the Meforsh GRA Meforsh. Right?
Yeah, some of them are useful.
Okay, let's see what it is. Okay, so you wanted to read the Hakdama here, also this little intro.
The little one, not too much of the top part, the little one. The best is great.
Yeah, Sifra D'tzniuta, but so in the beginning over there, I guess, he says, maybe Hakdama, the Sefer, the buyer, al Mamis Miyusa, the Sefer, in order to explain the basis of what's it founded on. Umalhu Shem HaSefer, what's the name of it? Yibra HaSefer, so it comes out, V'yigoyer, Sifra D'tzniuta, Miyusa, the buyer is Sodas Tikkun HaChatzilus. So it's really there to teach us secrets of Olam HaChatzilus. Let me bring this down a little bit more. Okay, so it's a Tana Lamado Sifra D'tzniuta, so we'll start working on this. So HaShefer Shalifne Shalafanenu Nikwa Sefer Amutzman. It's a Sefer that's hidden away. Shazehu Kavod Hashem Lahasdir Sodas Elu, because that's Hashem's Kavod, to hide these things. The Moshe and the Emor Kavod Elokim Hasdir Dav. V'lechein Nichtav Sefer Zeh B'Ramazer and Nehamomim. So it's really they just drop different words in here, different ideas. In other words, there are hints to it that are very hidden. But the Lashon Ketzaros is very short language. Ma'od. And then they're cut off in the beginning of these in the Yinkadei Lahastiv Lahatznia as a sodas in order to be able to hide away the sodas. V'dam Nikra B'Shem Sefer HaTzniut, so it's also the Sefer of the people, I guess it means of the people that are hidden. Let's say the hidden is the Fisha Ein the Galus Sodas HaSefer Rach Osim Shehim Sinuyim B'Ma'asefer Kadosh and Emor, only those people who are very, very modest in their deeds. As Sinuyim, quotes here, as Sinuyim Chachma, those who hide away Chachma. V'av la'osam shehim sinuyim, so also for those that are hidden. Ein l'mosam l'b'mosam ala b'chatznei olachos, but only in going in a way that really is very, very concealed. V'shum kach nikra gam kein b'shem Sifra D'tzniuta, so it's the sefer of people who are mutzmeh, the sinuyim, and also what's in it is held back. As a soda supplement. So therefore, Chachamim felt it's important to hide in secret. We shouldn't covet Elokem Hastidava, because we say that the covet of God is hiding things. Instead, closing door, God is hidden. Adam Nikra B'Shem Sifra D'tzniuta, so it's also called by that name. Mivnei Shechasefer Oseg B'Deroshin Ne'Hamomim L'Mutznoim. Rashi calls Sefer HaZohar B'Ha'idros Heim Sodas Nistarim. So even though we understand that the whole Zohar is really like that, and the Idros, he says that they're dealing with things that are hidden. He calls Shar Sodas V'Ka'Habbalah, but all the rest of the Sodas of the Kabbalah, Nechshavet the Bechinas Niglos L'Umas HaSodas Nistarim Sheb'Sefer HaZeh, but they're compared to, comparably comparatively, they're revealed in relationship. Those these are the hiddennesses of the hiddennesses. Or because this is showing you how it's hidden, stealed away, the secrets of Mshachas and Lashus or Ha'ains of how it is that the light of the Ains of is really clothed beside Partzufi Atzilus inside of the Partzufim of the Tzilus. Omar Odni says more, Sifra D'tzniuta, this book of hiddennesses, who's Sifra D'shaka B'maska. Sefer Sheshotel Atzilus. So this is one that balances all of Atzilus the Mishkan on a balance scale. Kolomisha Sefer Zecha Ba'osik B'so the Mishkan, so it's dealing with the concept of balance, of the balance scale. Shal Olam Atzilus, which exists in Olam Atzilus. Shehu Sod Olam Atikon Asher Nisakin called Olam Atzilus. So that is the island of Tikon. I guess he's referring here to the 3 lines of Zeranpin. Asher Bo Nisakin called Olam Atzilus, that really is the basis of the building of the Olam of Atzilus, Olam Atikon, the Sod Tikon Shal Zibur Zaka Benot Hamikra Mishnah. So he says that this is the ability, or the what's his word, the Sod Tikon, the secret of the building of Zaka and Nukva, these 2 opposites, which are called Mishka, are balance. Well, beer Inyan, so the beer of this Inyan, Hamishka, who is like this, Shahatikun Kukudumbas Maznayim. So it's like, again, balance scale. Yeshbo Kaf Yamin, the Kaf small, the Lashon, the Maznayim, the Emsa, and then there's the balance in between them, because of the tongue of the ears, I guess. The Hidacha Kashem Manichem, the Hidacha, the Kaf small, so when you originally put them on the left line as the Dava Hamishka, that is what you're measuring, you're balancing, or measuring. Shehein Yodim Mishkala, we don't know how heavy it is. Havihu Machriya, as the Kaf small, the Mata pushes the left line downwards. Lokashem Manichem Acherkach, and then when you leave it, as you go through that, the Kaf Yamim as a Evan Hamishkal, and you put on the right side, Hamishkal, Shiyudula Hamishkala, where you know what you're putting on the right side. Az Maskil Kaf Hayamin, the red is the Mata, then the right line, the right Kaf, also starts to go downwards. The Koch Lashon on Maznayim Shabbat, so that is through that, whatever it is, the balance line that's in between the 2. Ugenegdem a maskil kaf small alos the mala, and this allows the left line to start moving upwards. Ad asher ombim kaf yamin the kaf small the shabbat zek and neged zeh. V'chein kul gam b'zidu b'zacha b'nekeva. So this is also the same thing that we're doing in the zacha nekeva. So we're trying to understand. We understand that the right and left is the concept of no zacha nekeva. But in one case, he was talking about piling onto the left side, which is left is there first, kind of thing like that. And then the right side comes, and this is the secret of the right coming in to balance the left. Because Yarid al Nekeva is when the male aspect goes down to the Nekeva, on Nekeva Ola Keneged Zachar, and then she comes to meet him. Open Shenaasim Shneichim Shavim Zambazeh, so then they become equal. Asing is not being zecha b'zecha, and that is the basis of the equal. So this is the same concept that we see of sweetening dinim shel olam atikul. Sheyared melamalo or chesed shu bechinas yamin v'zoch. So from up above comes down the right line. V'negdo alo melamada dinim shehem bechinas small v'nekeva. So he says it corresponding, and as that goes down, then the other goes up. Once again, as I'm seeing that the female aspect is there first, and so she's to be pulled up, or she automatically pulls up. The koach hadasa shebe'emse, and this all happens as a result of das, which is in the middle between the two of them. Until they're on opposite sides, the chasadim and the dinim. So when that happens, then they're in a situation when they become equal, the situation being face to face. This basfel and this matkur adinim and then everything becomes sweetened up through the sasanim, so the zivug, and that's what the zivug comes to accomplish.
Yeah, so the footnotes over here, maybe from Yud 9.
Now, where is Yud Zayin? I see, Yud Zayin. Okay, Yud Ches, Yud Zayin. You saw a footnote here. Let's bring this down and look at it more closely. Remember Yud Zayin, he said, B'Shar Ma'amari Rashbi, Sifra D'tzniuta b'maskava. It's a Sifra that's balanced, that's measured in a balance scale. Maskava of the Karidachal in the cages. So the Maskava is also called by the concept these opposites, which are male and female, but the Amrita, the Zohar, the Parsha Tukuli, etc. The EEYUN is the Sibu. The Sibu is the Russian Nisuyin. The Shakli, the Maskava, the Kulim, the Nukli. Do im do, one with the other one. The EEYUN Atvikun Maznayim, and they're all called scales. It says al do pasuk. It says like this: b'maznayim ma'alot. So you need the maznayim in order to be able to go up. Maznayim ma'alot. Ve'inun haborid. No, I'm sorry, I can't read it that well. So you said, yeah, I see it. Ve'inun kibura the dog of the keva kechada. This is the concept of putting opposites together. I keep putting the word opposites because I see it's in many other places, but the basic idea is double the note. But as he goes on, he says like this: so it's a book, Sifra. So he said in other places that Sifra is really looking for. But he says anyway, Sifra, let's stop it. Start saying it over. So the Sifra the Shachal the Maskava, behind the Daka the Nukva, to the fishes. So he says that it's necessary for the ma'atzil to have this system, which is male and female. And why? So that the thing should develop downwards towards us in using this concept. Docher v'nukva, like that, male and female. That is calling it Silus, and that's the whole concept. Is sweeping dinim with rachamim. The hainu dacha rachamim lukva din b'noid. So therefore, all the malachim that were in the kings of Edom, Asach of the called dinim miskaimim, and Edom is the place where all of the dinim stand up. He said of the Talmud, he said of his battle. There they become nullified. At Shivav HaMelech, until the Melech HaAchron, the Melech HaShmini, which is Hadar, in Ishta, Mehitabel. Again, Docher V'Nukva, Din V'Rachamim, that is these two, which are male and female, Hadar and Mehitabel. They represent Docher V'Nukva in the combination, Din V'Rachamim, in this Basbal Yachad, they become sweetened between each themselves. Read the Sefer Omer Man, look over there, he says, and he says, Shehedich Hadabarim B'zeh HaLoshen, he said that the Shako B'Maskava, that it balances on a scale, Hinder Zivug, Sheyeshtal Shudach B'derek Zeh, Kol Chatzilus. So this is the yichud that allows everything that Yishtalshul develops out from there, all of the tzilus. That's the whole purpose of this. Haina Zafar the Rachman, Zafar is the Rachman, then the cave is the Din. I can't believe the So follow this as we go along. We're still reading?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Now he says, Akwala Indian, Ki Yesh Nishko Bekaf small. So it's something weighed on the left line. Which is on that, I don't know what it says exactly, but shkila, I guess, means measurement.
The weighing.
Huh? Weight?
The weighing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the weight, yeah. Na'asach ha'betigan l'shkila, the weighing of it. Yesh even the mishkal, so there's a stone for that. The kaf yamin that goes onto the right side. So you have something that needs to be weighed. Let me think about this. Something that needs to be weighed. And then you have a stone, which has a particular weight, the kaf yamin. Hamasakin as a nishkal, then that's the part that fixes the object being weighed. And then you have this tongue or this strip of the balance line between the two. So there's something solid in between them, which is the das. I'm trying to picture what a balance scale looks like this. So he said, "Manayim ba'emsa, shuhu ha'shokel ha'mechaber." This is the balancer that joins bein amishko the nishko, that joins the two of them together. And he balances them one opposite the other. We said with beer eating mishko, the hamshachas or tipas amochim. So let's see the explanation of the word mishko. Here he's talking about the hamshacha of the aura tipas amocha, the light that's coming from the tipas amochim. From that idea about the tipa, then we should come over here and learn Ari. He says, Ray Bishar Mamari Rafbi, he says over there, and the quote is, Hadas Nikra B'Shem Mishka. So the Das itself is the balancer. So he a Heker HaMishka, he Shava O Pachus O Yosef. So he says, what? Recognize, I guess the definition of the Mishka is whether it has Shava O Pachus, whether it is even or whether it has too little or it has too much. That's where it's at. So Nikr Ela B'Loshen HaMishka. So he said, so the reckoning can only be seen in the concept of balance. Asher Lamala, so Isa Zaku B'Omed Kifin Tiyasa. So therefore, let me go over it slowly. Therefore, in this place in the middle, Zakuf, it's standing upright, it's upright, the Omed, Kafi Netiyaso, the Hakla'aso, Lakan of Lakan, and it stands there, and I'm not sure what it means, Kafi, according to the way that it's inclined, whether it's to the right or the left, but I think it means it stands solid in the middle, but there is a difference on the left side or the right side, depending on where you're looking. The Gavar Yudadagi, but the Petus on Lashon, who Bedas Elyon. So the concept of this Lashon is talking about the upper das. You know that you have Mishko Agidin Avna. So the way that things are balanced out is through a stone. He said, Chada the Mishko Bog, and so this is, I guess it reads, where is it? Agidin Avna Chada, one Mishko, one stone. And that stone is used for balance. The Mishko book, and this could use it for measuring or balancing. So he says the Pashas Tisa. So it said the Vihine Soda Evan he bought Metipas Hamoach and then Shachas Min Hachma Al Vadat. So he says you want to know what the secret of the Mishko is. Now, I would have thought that Das is received from both lines. But he said, Soda Evan, who bomb Metipas Hamuach and then Shachas Min Hachma Al Vadat. So it's the tipas of the Muach that's coming from the side of Chachma that's going into Das. V'sham Nimshach El Bina, and from that, then you're going from Chachma to Das to Bina. So through Das, that is how you're actually weighing the stone, or the stone is used. He can kaveda or kala, whether it's a heavy needs a lot, or a little, heavy or light. Pirish kasha evan he kala, and what's explained out? Otherwise, this stone is light, less weight. Olo osach of the kavma zayin lamal. It causes the Maznaim to go upward. Being he debated, but if it's heavy, Yorid Osach of a Kapma Zan the Mata, but if not, it goes down. Hacha Inyan Zeh, so this is also the singing. Ki im ha'or hazeh sheb'chachma b'chugodav. So this, the light of Chachma is great. The dunban ala even of the beda of Yered is he lamata k'noshik. So if the weight is great, it's similar to the stone, the very heavy stone that goes down. He lamata k'noshik, that causes it to go down. Ki k'fi erev k'vedus even, because according to the heaviness of the stone, tered mata, it'll go further down. Vihim or moed b'katan. So he says the word is that or. Yeah, he says if it's a little bit of light, moed b'katan, maybe yochel the red is the mata matmas kalaso. If it's too light, and it can't cause anything to go down. So you have this extreme. V'chein Rei b'Lekuti Torah, he says b'Mata b'Sharon, he says on Sham. So he says, "Umuvu b'orach hazover abazover chai." Let's see, what is this? Chai al hasifra zor chai. I guess it's named Sifra. Al Sifra D'tzniuta b'bir so Moscow. Going on. So he says the Gemara came. Let's talk about that, which is really the subject. Small. So the nishka, let's talk like the one that's measured, or that one that you're balancing. This is the one we're saying. It's like I was saying this, like it's already there. Who bekinas hanukva should be small. He didn't. The even a nishka, so the stone that you put on the other side, hamsaking, which comes to build it or fix it. They saking. Who hazacha? That's the male shall call a participant ba'omer b'yamin b'hurachim. So he says. V'hashogo. So what is the actual part that's doing the balancing? Kuma'atzel or einso. This is really the matzah. Because he is the one that brings the energy to be able to make a zibul. Small. So he said, "Before ain't so kumis lavish b'partzufim so the tikunim hamuva the Sifra D'tzniuta b'hemshach." So that this eye, that this ain't so that we're talking about, is that part which is really hidden inside of that we have here in the Sifra D'tzniuta that we're talking about. The ha'aras b'shem mabush aram. So you see this in the haras over there. Lashon the hikar the tikun gugolta. The Yikra, the Tikar, I don't know what Dikar means. If you mean the Bushim Dikar, so that I guess it means glorious garments. The Tikuni Gugolta, and also that language, the language of building the Gugolta. Okay, what are we doing now? Skip over to Chaf Aleph, which is down below. It says Kanal B'Shem Shar Maimari Rashbi. Let's look there, he says. Sham. Great Gav Abiyan Havor, the GRA. So apparently the GRA wrote that book. Al Zohar B'Pekudi, so etc. Ray O the Mavasharim over there. The Zohar of Tishkach Klal Zeh. So remember, do not forget this rule. Kilo Olam, the Kol Partsufi Hatzilus, Kol Avasadi Nimshachim Mishem Maha Chodesh. Let's read again. All the parts of the tzilus, right? Without a malach achodesh, nothing happens. Call al chasadim nimshachim b'shem malach achodesh, and malach achodesh brings the chasadim that are able to sweeten the ben. Shabal the sakin that tzilus is coming to sweeten the tzilus. V'chein ha'gavuros b'shem the ben, also the gavuros, which are the bens, shall be ruven malachim, which coming out of the gavurim as well. So he said, zeh so. Hazibul Lamatek Gavuras Hanukva Shem Ben. So this is the concept of bringing this yichud together to be able to sweeten the nukva, which is the main Ben. Is Bararos Antach Mechavish because Zibul Zibul Besod Mayim Nukvi. So let's go over those words. He says what happens is the sweetening process is a process of this his barus are bringing out those birurim ada lechadash anew again. Because ziva b'zidu, so every time there's a yichud between zakum and nuk, it brings out more birurim. So mayim nukvin, and where are they going? They're going from the bottom to the top. This all happens to bring them up as a result of the fact. This is what he's saying. He says this is the Mishnah. They're down there, sunk and dwelt, and they're over there, and they in klipos. They have to be pulled out, and as you pull these fasadim on top of it, you put it on the other side of the scale. It causes them to rise. So he says this idea of sweetening the gevuros, which are down below, with the eben, which is the stone, or what we say, the chesed. This is the whole purpose of everything. B'shar Mamari Rashbi, it says like this: So from this we see that it's possible to relate the idea of the maskula, the pa'ulas takas hagavuras b'chasadim, which is actually the whole idea, the balance of the idea of bringing sweetness into the dinim, to put the two of them together. While your days there have been raised behind this melech over there, kan b'shem adrushin, the result, the shaka, the maskula, that he's balancing it out, he's measuring it or balancing it on this balance scale. That they balance one side and the neck to the next. So this is the underlying principle here, is that they're revealed, which he says also means that they're weighed and balanced. This is the Dekeda, found on two opposite sides. So he here said, the shako the master. That's the ikar of the Indian to this is to get everything balanced. Okay, how we doing now? We're ready to go on?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes, so let's see what we can get. Asa Shabir, so now we've got some ideas about what the principle of the Sifra D'tzniuta is. The virus, so the master. This is why we're coming over here to talk about that secret. So we wanted to say that tikkunim that are missing kodem tikkun atzilus. So now we're going to see how the tikkun works with these things that are lacking. So in the beginning we go to the interior of the head of Eric Anpin, and we look at the Luach Stimar, the Eric Anpin, which is only pure Rachamim. Below Nisakim, the Daim, the Dinim, and you don't have this balance going on. You start out with Rachamim. Well, I'm talking Zerah, which be further on. I guess it's Zeranpin. This is the sweetening of each other. So this is the concept of that yichud, by putting the two together. That's the concept of the balance scale. So therefore, we don't see that the yichud is taking place between Abba and Ima face to face. In other words, you also say like face to face only can happen if they're equal, if they're balanced in the same size and the same way. So that means that she's being sweetened, but he was on Takas and Dinim, the Rachamim, and that idea. So therefore the Malachim leave the concept of complete and total Dinim, which is what happens when they broke their fellow to Bia. And also at that position where they're in the broken state, there is no light of Eric Adkin to be able to come down and bring them some sweetness. So therefore the Malachim died, they're gone. And therefore as a result of that, you see that in this Bible, Ba'ulas Malchus, the action that Malchus can do is stops. The Shadach of the Kibla of Shepherd is their antin, because the only way that Malchus can actually act, I guess you say, is in relationship to their antin. Now let's see, we have probably no more time. So tomorrow we'll pick up at this place, and it's very interesting, and we'll get some real good background. Thank you so much.